Hello, and welcome to the Heritage Podcast, which is all about Ramadan. Today, I'm joined by Fiz and Rahat, and they will be talking about their experiences with observing Ramadan in the workplace. I'll let them introduce themselves. Fiz, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Aisha. Hi, I am part of the Open Heritage Network. I'm also Demand Generation Executive, and I just wanted to drop in as well that we have loads of events going on this year with the network. We've got like a whole team dedicated to running things, not only in the London office, but only the Leeds as well. Sakib and I are part of the Leeds committee. We've got a meditation session that just happened on the 21st. We're hosting a henna session on the 28th, and we've got podcasts like this. And there's also panels to discuss when it comes to Windrush Day. We've got events lined up for South Asian Heritage Month and Black History Month. Loads of exciting things to keep posted for, guys.
Rahat.
Thanks, Aisha. My name is Rahat, and I am a part of the design team, and I work as a senior digital designer in Sticky Eyes, and I've been with this company since about 1 year now. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Good to meet you both. So let's start off first. What is Ramadan? Fiz, maybe you can answer that for us.
Yeah, no worries. So, technically speaking, it's the ninth month in the lunar calendar where the Quran was like officially sort of revealed, and people see this as like a really important holy month. It's the month to get closer to God because it's what we think is a spiritually designated month to when it comes to practicing like self-discipline, and not only self-discipline of yourself, it's also help being more included in the community. It isn't just noted down to fasting. There's a lot more that comes with it, such as charity as well. And Ramadan is basically all about encompassing all the three and observing it in a way that is personally spiritual and reflective of yourself and how you represent yourself as a Muslim as well.
Yes, one of the things we were talking about before we started was how not everybody fasts as well.
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Rahat, what about Eid? What is Eid? Because there's two types, right? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So Eid is more of a reward of Ramadan. So Eid, this is where we mark the end of Ramadan, mark end of fasting. And Eid is about celebration. It's a joy time, much like Christmas, I would say. What we do on Christmas. So uh, basically, families meet with each other, prepare big feast meals, morning and afternoon meals, exchange gifts, offer prayers. So these are the things that what we do on Eid. So this is more like literally a reward of the month of self-control and self-discipline and a spiritual time. So
Yes. Yes. And then the second Eid is the one done after Hajj. So Hajj, for folks listening in, is basically like a religious pilgrimage. So there's another Eid after that. So there's two Eids. And for you, Fiz, how do you sort of celebrate Ramadan and Eid?
Oh, so in my family, I come from quite a big family. So there's usually a lot of like food prep being made. So my mum is so busy whipping up all sorts of biryanis and curries. She's got she's got everything. It's amazing for us because outside of Ramadan, she's always like cook yourself. But in Ramadan, I think she knows that she gets a higher reward for it spiritually, so she's more willing to put more hours in. But me and my siblings also try and help as well. And I think for Ramadan, it's also about trying to hit like my goal of 5 daily prayers. And I try and give my in Islam we have like an obligatory charity sort of that we need to give every year. So it's based on like a tiny fraction of your annual income. So I'll try and give that in Ramadan and sort of become more intentional with it. And when it comes to Eid in the Pakistani culture, it's a lot about like having like your mendi done before, getting your salwar kameez or your saris the night before, and now people get their nails and their eyelashes done. It's a whole prep. It's an extravaganza that we do, and there's a lot of food that comes in it as well, going to people's houses and eating a lot.
Yeah, it's quite similar to how it's done in Nigeria as well. Like my favorite part used to be getting my outfits made. So you get your fabric and then, you and your family, maybe your sisters will all wear like the same fabric but different styles. Same
Yeah.
thing, cooking lots of food, visiting people, and also getting money, right? When I was a child, I used to get money, but now that I'm an adult, nobody wants to give me money. But it's now that I need the money. I didn't need it as a child. All right, so let's talk about the typical day then for someone who's observing Ramadan. Rahat, can you tell us a bit about that? What's the
Yeah,
typical day
sure.
like?
Sure. So Ramadan is like we have to wake up early in the morning, like about 3:30 ish, you say, and then eat where you don't want to eat. You want to sleep, but you gotta wake up and you're gonna eat, and then offer prayers, and then so you're then after that you're awake. You don't want to sleep after that because there's not enough time. So start your day slightly earlier, and then reserve your energy for rest of the at least 6 hours, so that you can perform well in the office. So, and then after that, you tend to go down a bit, and after like two or 3 o'clock after that, and then you start to basically think, okay, this is the time for basically preparing your food for iftar, to break your fast, and then yeah, you gotta prepare the food and then break the fast. It's about like 6:30 ish time. So it's about 13 hours at the moment, which changes every year. So yeah, that's a typical day. I mean, be it in the office, be it at home, that's what you exactly do. I mean, working from home or working from office is exactly the similar process, similar day for Ramadan in Ramadan.
Yeah, and I think this year is slightly easier because people eat sooner, right? Because last year it was like 9 p.m., but this year it's about 6 p.m.
Mm.
So, so it happens as Fiz said that. So it's a lunar calendar which is slightly shorter than Georgian calendar, which is so Georgian calendar is 30 days, lunar calendar is 29.5, which results at the end of the year 12 or 11 days lesser than Georgian calendar. So hence every year the Ramadan will shift 11 to 12 days earlier, and that repeats every 33 years. That's the cycle. So, for example, Ramadan started 10th of March this year. Now, next time it'll be after 33 years. That's the cycle.
Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing. And that is what affects the timing because it's also based on when people pray Maghrib, isn't it? So that's when you break your fast.
that's correct. And that's why the Eid times shift as well.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so you've already explained the dates because sometimes people get confused about that, but I think you've explained that really well, so thank you for that.
Mm.
Fiz, back to you. What do you look forward to the most at Eid?
Eating during the day, without a doubt. I'm not gonna lie, I do struggle when it comes to not eating during Ramadan. I think it makes me realize how much of a compulsive snacker I am. That is really what I look forward to, and just seeing my family because we're working like 9 to 5 Monday to Friday most of the time. We don't get to see the kids because they're in school, and not everyone can get together. But this is the time where everyone is like, okay, this is when our routines align.
Yeah.
So we're all put together, and just having everyone together, and just having something to share communally instead of making it all about someone else's birthday or someone else's graduation. It's like, no, we'll all celebrate this together. It's quite
Yeah.
equal. Yeah, I really love that part of it.
Yeah, the community, the connection. Yep, love it. All right. Rahat, what's your favorite dish during Eid time? Tell us.
Oh, it's how do I say it? You know that vermicelli. That's an Italian pasta sort of dish. So basically, vermicelli with milk. We call it sheer korma in Urdu, and
Mm,
that's the one of the most important favorite dish for all people back in Pakistan, especially celebrating Eid, and that's the breakfast thing, and that is something that we look forward to that. Yeah. So
nice.
that is one of the most favorite dish I have in my mind at the moment for
Nice.
Eid. Yeah.
Fiz, how about you? You've talked about food and snacking, so you've got to tell me yours.
Oh God, it's actually the same as Rahat, but it was my mum sort of twisted it into a rice pudding now. We don't usually just have like the sweet sort of I don't know if it's spaghetti. I really don't know what it is that they cook it with. Is it the pasta, Rahat?
It is the Italian pasta. It's vermicelli. That's what they call it. It's really really thin. That's what they use. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Aisha, what's yours? Because you come from a Nigerian culture, so there must be so much food as well.
So it has to be something called waina, so Waina. So it's basically the best way I can describe it in English. It's kind of like a rice puff thingy. See,
Mm.
yeah, and then you have it with peanut stew. It's really good.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds so filling.
Yeah,
That
gosh, you're
sounds
making me
amazing.
hungry at this hour, and it's too
So-
early.
Sorry. Well, let's move away from food a little bit. Sorry for making you hungry, but okay, question to you first. How do you keep your performance up, like in the workplace when you're fasting? How do you stay focused? What are some of your tips? What do you do?
That's a good question. Yeah. I think one thing I really love about just like IPG Kinesso overall is the flexi hours. So I spoke to my manager about this before Ramadan. I told him that yeah, I'm going to be up at like 5 a.m. praying anyway. I prefer to start earlier and then end earlier so I can, prep for food better and maybe take a nap or two whilst my sisters are prepping the food for me. So I start work from 8 till 4 now during this month, and I know some people can take their own like personal time off. It was something I try to do is avoid meetings in the late afternoon, because I think that's when I sort of hit that hunger slump. So I'll try and keep it all in the morning. Like we're hosting this early in the morning as well, well, earlier than usual. And that working from home as well, I know some of my colleagues, they're like an hour and a half drive away from the Leeds office, so just so that they're not driving too much whilst they're hungry, or if they're not driving too much at the times where they should be eating, they've asked to have a remote performance, like remote position. So that's definitely something. It's really flexible. Yeah, having managers who are like open to listening to your experiences and how they can help you in the workplace is definitely, yeah, the way it is here.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. The flexi hours is super, super important. And it's just an example of equity, right? Because I always say equity is when you create a policy that people from different groups can use for different reasons. Like that policy
Mm,
helps people who are working parents. It also helps people who might be neurodivergent or disabled. It also helps people from the Muslim community. And that's
mm.
what equity is all about, like creating things that benefit everyone so that
Very
they don't need
tailored.
to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, Rahat, what adjustments, aside from what we've talked about, could help you? Like, is there anything that colleagues could notice? How can they support you when you're fasting?
But to be honest, they're amazing already. They're doing whatever they can to support me. Be it flexible hours, and be it letting me go and pray when I want to, but letting me take breaks. Be it I'm not. I mean, I know that they know that I'm not eating, that I'm fasting, but still, they're okay with that, and they don't really put a lot of load on you, or like workload. And then the meetings are like set earlier, not after 2 p.m., so that they know that the energy level goes down. So it's better to have him earlier than later. So they're really really supported anyway. And further to that, I'm not sure what is required. I think it's going to be more. I don't want to be more greedy, so I'm happy with that.
No, it's so important to have colleagues that can be empathetic and think about things like that and keep that in mind. That's all part of being a great team, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
I love that. Amazing team. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so over to you, Fizz, to close us off. And any
Oh.
final thoughts from either of you just before we close things off?
Yeah, well, big thank you, Aisha, for hosting it. It was, yeah, honestly, I really, really enjoyed the way you phrase your questions. It makes it a lot comfortable for me to answer. Really, really appreciate the structure. And yeah, there's an email that went around, I want to say about last week, when it comes to helping your colleagues in the workplace. It was sent out by the Open Heritage Network. If you ever need any pointers, you could look at that, or we're more than open to suggestions as well. So if you could always drop me a message if you've got any questions, that completely confidential. No question is too far or too silly. Like, we understand that you're just trying to get to understand how to work with your colleagues better.
Excellent. Rahat, anything from you?
Well, from my end, I would say just people who are fasting eat a lot of yogurt in the morning, that keeps you hydrated, and and have a lot of dates that keeps you filled for a longer time. And yeah, I mean, enjoy Ramadan, and wait for Eid. It's around the corner, almost there.
Perfect. And my last tip would be when you're having dates, have it with warm milk. Amazing.
Oh,
Warm
Oh,
milk
okay.
and dates.
okay. Well, thanks for
Yeah,
the tip.
you're
Yeah, I'll have to
welcome.
try that out tonight. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.